Two Italian clubs are set to meet in the semi-final of the Champions League, but not just any two Italian clubs. It's the Derby della Madonnina Internazionale versus Milan. 2 decades ago, the fierce rivals met at the very same stage. Back then, an Andriy Shevchenko away goal was enough to send the rossoneri to the final, a game they won against Juventus on penalties, and they would go on to contest 2 more finals in 2005 and 2007, both against Liverpool. Inter would have to wait until 2010 for their next chance to win UEFA's most coveted prize, landing a historic treble under Jose Mourinho. Since then, neither club has been able to make an impression in the Champions League, with both enduring periods of mediocrity in Serie A before both winning the Scudetto in recent years. It makes their semi-final clash this season all the more spectacular. It will be a special derby, we all know what this game means, remarked Inter forward Lautaro Martinez. And Italian football writer Vieri Capretta has gone one step further, telling BBC Sport that no Inter or AC Milan fan wanted this clash because the pressure is going to be unbelievable. No one is feeling the heat more than Inter, while an appearance in a Champions League final would mean the world for AC Milan, confirmation of their return to glory. For Inter, winning the competition has quickly become a matter of necessity for all the wrong reasons. Languishing outside the top 4 in Serie A, riddled with financial issues and harnessed with a squad at the end of its cycle, success in the Champions League could dictate how capably the Nerazurri can rise to the challenges burdening its future. This week on Eurofootball Daily Explained, we are heading to the blue side of San Siro to see how Inter have reached this point. This season has been truly bizarre for Inter. Simeone Inzaghi has made his side into a cup-time monster, reaching the Coppa Italia and Champions League semi-finals. But when it comes to Serie A, all is not well. In March and April, they lost 5 times, going goalless in 3 games at the Giuseppe Meazza for the first time ever. Unexpected defeats against Spezia, Bologna and Monza has ramped up pressure on Inzaghi, who has only managed to engineer 6 wins from 15 on the road all season, conceding at levels similar to the relegation candidates. The price of this inconsistency could be a spot in the Champions League. The decision to reverse Juventus' 15-point deduction means that with 7 games to play, Inter are 6th, just behind Roma and Milan. Napoli and Atalanta are still on their fixture list too, meaning they are up against it. This is a major problem for Inter as the Champions League is big business. Just entering the group stage banks every club involved a minimum of €15.6 million, while reaching the last 4 has netted the Milan pair a staggering €82 million apiece. AC Milan would theoretically be able to brush off 1 season outside of UEFA's premier competition. The prize money earned this season has effectively wiped clean the €66 million loss they posted in 21-22. For Inter Milan, however, the situation is more bleak. The Nerazzurri need the Champions League more than ever, and to guarantee entry next season, they need to win the whole competition. So why is this the case? Well, their finances are in a mess. In 2016, the Chinese business giant Suning Holdings bought a majority stake in the club for €270 million. Steven Zhang has overseen the Nerazzurri ever since, becoming the youngest chairman in the club's history at just 26 years old. To his credit, Inter have grown considerably under his watch. They of course won the Scudetto in 2020-21, have achieved 5 consecutive top 4 finishes, claimed a Coppa Italia and reached the final of the Europa League. Off the pitch, things looked equally as impressive. Inter has a new headquarters, improved training and academy facilities, and a monstrous workforce that has grown from 160 people to 600 under Suning. Gazzetta dello Sport revealed that, up to 2021, Inter's social media following grew by 232%, the biggest increase of any club in Europe, while the value of total business rose by 120%. Today, KPMG prices the club at around €1 billion, making Suning's investments look very sound. But turning Inter into a modern institution has not been cheap. As of 2021, it's believed Suning had invested a reported €553 million in the club, including huge sums spent on transfers such as Achraf Hakimi and their record signing Romelu Lukaku. This heavy spending came back to haunt Suning at the worst possible moment, the pandemic. During Inter's title-winning campaign of 2021, the club posted a massive loss of €245.6 million. Things have got a bit better, with the club posting a loss of just €140 million in 21-22, but the damage was already done. Inter has painful levels of debt, around €350 million, which Suning have been struggling to finance. In 2021, for example, the players were not always paid on time, or scheduled payments for transfers were also missed. Suning's problems came from issues back in China. During the pandemic, the Suning business empire hemorrhaged cash, losing 90% of its stock exchange value. The luxury of owning a football team subsequently became a secondary concern, causing owner Zhang Jindong to close his Chinese Super League side Jiangsu Suning FC just 3 months after winning the division. Unable to get cash out of China and losses mounting at Inter Milan, in May 2021, Suning turned to the US-based asset management firm Oaktree Capital to boost the club's finances. Oaktree loaned them €275 million, taking a 31% stake in the club. This meant the Zhangs retained majority control of Inter. However, they used their own stake as loan collateral, meaning that if the loan is not repaid in full by May 2024, Oaktree can take full control of the club. There has been a notable shift in the Nerazurri's transfer dealings ever since. That summer, over €200 million was raised from the sales of Lukaku, Hakimi and Politano, to name just a few, and just over a fifth of that was reinvested in new recruits. Again, this season they were outspent by 10 clubs in Serie A, despite revenue streams that dwarf most of their competitors. Inter fans are not happy with Suning, with some vocal pockets of supporters at the Giuseppe Meazza calling for Zhang to leave, but in truth they have little choice but to rein in the spending. In September 2022, UEFA's financial fair play slapped Inter with a fine of €4 million for failing to comply with the break-even requirements. The club have 4 years to meet UEFA's expectations, and failure to comply could not only earn them far greater financial punishments, but sporting ones too. The next problem is that Inter's squad needs plenty of work. With an average age of 28.4, they have the oldest team in Serie A. Over a third of their top 15 most used players are well into their 30s, while they face a contract crisis too, with 11 members of the team set to leave this summer. Stefan de Vrij and Milan Skriniar, two centre-halves with almost 450 appearances between them, can both leave for free. Skriniar had been the subject of a €70 million bid from PSG last summer. Instead, he will cost the French giants nothing should his proposed switch to the Parc des Princes go ahead as expected. Elsewhere in the squad, Edin Dzeko's future is not yet confirmed, while Lukaku is almost certain to return to Chelsea, given his monstrous €12 million annual wages and disappointing goal return. And next season more problems will arise. High performers like Alessandro Bastoni and Hakan Çalhanoğlu have deals until 2024. So unless they agree to extensions, Inter may have to sell them on the cheap or risk losing them for free. Italian news outlet Gazzetta believes the club's success in the Champions League has saved them the indignation of needing to sell another big name like Lautaro Martinez this summer to plug the holes in their finances. But without the offer of UCL football next season or the revenue it provides, bringing big names to the Lombardy outfit will be a challenge. And if they go into 23-24 with a downgraded squad, then the chances of missing out on Champions League football for a second consecutive season suddenly become higher. Steven Zhang also needs Inter Milan in the Champions League next season if the rumours are true that he is looking to sell the club. Although he recently denied allegations he was looking to sell, the Wall Street Journal have previously reported that Zhang hired the American bank Goldman Sachs to sound out possible investors. Italian media claims the magic number required to purchase Inter is €1.2 billion. Given the levels of debt, running costs and the money required to rebuild the squad, Zhang will need to leverage every positive aspect of Inter to hit that valuation, and Champions League football would certainly help. It should also be noted that Inter also require a new stadium, another expense, with the stadium at San Siro severely outdated. They had originally partnered with Milan on this venture, the two clubs releasing plans for a modern arena called the Cathedral. But Gazzetta dello Sport claim the Rossoneri are prepared to go it alone at a separate site, fed up with bureaucratic delays. It's yet another headache for any future Inter owner to consider. Whoever ends up owning the club faces the serious task of making Il Biscione a strong yet sustainable elite in the European game. In the meantime, all Inter's focus must go on defeating Milan in May. Lose and a red mist may dominate Milan for many years to come. So that was our explainer on the problems facing Inter, but what did you make of it, and what is your prediction for this epic semi-final clash in the Champions League? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and why not check out the rest of our EFD Explained series. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.